Okay. Hi everybody. In a previous episode, I taught you the shape using the root or one, the 4, the 5, and the octave. Today we're going to use the same shape except for the octave to make a very easy blues progression to follow. This is something that I started out learning as well. Because I was playing with musicians when I was starting out, I was playing with musicians who were much better than I was. But in order to survive in a jam, we did a blues progression and they were just soloing and playing over it. And it's nice to be part of something musical when you're starting out and you're still learning. So what we're doing is we're only going to make use of the shape that I taught in the last episode. So we're going to start with the same root, which is the A, on the A, which is the 5th fret of the E string. Again, you could change if you want to change the jam, you can actually play this progression and anywhere on the neck, and it'll be like and you can make it into a different blues song. But for all intents and purposes, we're going to start with the same root as in the lesson, which is the 5th fret of the E string. That's the note A. We're only going to be using the A, the D, which is the 5th fret of the A string, and the E. Okay? So those are the 3 notes out of the 4. You don't even need, unless you want, you can have an option to use the high A, but for this exercise, you don't really need to. It's up to you. So before we start, the term is bar. We're going to use a bar of 4 counts. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So when I say 1 bar, that means 4 counts. If you're better at it, you can make your bar. You can instead of counting 1 in 4s, you can count in 8s, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and just so you can play more notes. But for now, just to make it easy, we're playing quarter notes. So that's 4 bars, 4 notes per bar. We're gonna start off at the root, which is the A. You're gonna do 4 bars. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. After the 4th bar, you go to the D, which is the 4th, for 2 more bars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then back up to the root. Back down to the root. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that lasts 2 bars. And after the 2 bars of the root, you go to the 5th for 1 bar. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then to the 4th. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then back to the root for 2 bars. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you start all over again. That's how and you can play this for hours, for as long as your bandmates have something to play or something you to contribute. You can make this last. You can make this jam last for a long time. So after that, you just play it. You just start all over from the beginning. So it'll sound like this. That's how you do that, and then just keep repeating it over and over again. The other option is the same thing, except for the last bar. When you're done with you go back up to the root. Instead of playing the root for 2 bars, you go to the 5th for 1 bar before you start all over again. This is how it goes. One, two, three, four, one, two, three, four, one, two, start all over again. So there's two options there. You can take the last bar and play it on the root to make it twice and then start all over again, or you can put it here and play the last 4 counts on your 5th, then start back at the root for the second go around. You can also try, instead of going 1, 2, 3, 4, you can go 1. You can always go. You can gallop 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and so it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. Basically, you can also try it that way. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So it's like it's still within the 4 bars, but you're using your fingers to play notes quickly. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And try it out. You'll see. You'll see. This is going to be like your first jam. It's going to be awesome. Taking Todd's back. This is called back control. I'm here to teach you the most basic attack from this position. Once in competition, I've taken my points from this position, I can start attacking. Ideally, you go for something called a seatbelt, where you have one arm over his arm, under his armpit, and one arm over his other shoulder, and then you clasp them together. What I like to do is I like to grab a wrist, and then grab my own wrist, so that I have like a really good position, I have a really good hold. And at least this arm cannot defend. So the basic attack is a submission called a rear naked choke. So from here, you take your arm. What I would do is, because I'm usually controlling my opponent like this, is I would switch. So the control of Todd's wrist will go from this hand to this hand. Then I'm gonna go to this. And then I'm gonna take this, and then this hand, I'm gonna go across his chest. Now, there's many ways to finish this choke, but the most basic choke is the one where you grab your forearm and then you flare. Then you push your legs, and you use your feet and then you push. And that's a choke. If you can't you have to grab your bicep and put your arm behind his head and then you push away. If you cannot grab your bicep, you can grab your other arm and put your head near his head and push. That will get a choke as well. And if you really can't, for example, you want to keep your arm, you take your hand, you put it on your head, then you push. Those are 3 ways to choke somebody from back control.